So, hi, Karen.
Hi, Dr. Lulu.
So, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, and thank you so much for doing this. The first question is, why did you decide to go with Dr. Lulu's Life Coaching Lounge? I mean, there are millions of places you could get help. Why did you come to Lulu's Life Coaching Lounge?
I came to your life coaching lounge because I was struggling with some issues with my transgender child. And I saw an article in the Post that linked to you, and I went to your website, and I just really liked what you had to say. And I liked that you were honest about your struggles with acceptance of your transgender child too. And I felt like a lot of people. Um, I felt like you weren't going to pay lip service to my problems, that you really understood where I was coming from and could help me because you'd been through it yourself.
So so after you came, did I pay you lip service, I guess?
No, not at all. You told me exactly what I needed to hear, and I am very, very grateful. And I also realized that my transgender child was really wasn't a problem, wasn't an issue. It was just something, that I needed to accept and love, which I did. And though the world has, I was worried about the world being an accepting place for my child, and the world has been very accepting. And you helped me see some other areas of my life that I needed to work on, which I was not evident to me at first. And so I'm really grateful about that as well.
So, what would you say to someone just like you who may not get a copy of the Post, which, by the way, I have two articles cooking for
All
the
right.
press. But what would you say to someone who didn't get to read the article in the Post, didn't see
Mhm.
it in the Facebook group, and is struggling like I did with non-binary or you, trans or whatever? What would you say to that parent today?
Well, I have to say, like, I was having lunch with a friend yesterday, and I was saying how I was seeing a life coach, and she's like, "That doesn't seem like something you would do." When you kind of hear life coach, you think, well, that's a lot of woo or whatever. But I decided to let myself be open to it, and so I'm like, don't be on the fence about it if you feel like maybe it's not for you. Like, what are they going to tell you don't already know? You don't need help in that department, because I found it really helpful. And now I feel bad for the times I spent in my life thinking, what did I need a life coach for?
That's a great way to answer that question. That's actually a great way to answer that question. Um, so was it the life coach aspect, or was it the me being a parent? Was it both of us being parents? Which one made you say, yes, I'm going to pay for life coaching and then re-up for 12 months?
Right. Well, I think the
You're
first
killing
time,
me. I mean, like
yeah, I mean, I feel like,
I was blown away. I was like, wait, she said, no, I don't want to do 3 months. I want to do 12 months.
right.
Made you pay for the services the first time and then re-up. You don't have to tell them the details. But
Right.
what made you pay in the first place and then re-up for 12 months?
I felt, I did the free introductory session, and I said to myself, like, look, either it's going to suck, or you're going to think this is stupid and a waste of time, or it's going to be good. And so, um, like in my line of work as an accountant, I like when people come to me with problems and I know I can help them, and they just like turn themselves over to me and let me do it. And I said, maybe I should take that same approach with you, where I just turn myself over to you and let you like help me do what needs to be done. So I just felt like we connected that first time we talked, and that you heard what I was saying, and some of the stuff you said back to, I felt like even that first hour, I felt better after we talked. It felt really productive, and I got a lot out of it. And I'm like, if every hour can be like this, it's worth every penny. So,
So has every hour been like that or better?
well, I
Or
mean, there's only so much progress you can make, right? That's not true. But I mean, there was like huge gains at first, and now we're down to fine tuning. And the reason I want to keep going for a year is because I don't want to reverse my course at all. I really appreciate the accountability, and like your no BS approach, where you call me out on things and don't let me make excuses. So, I want to, I feel like I've come a really long way, but I don't know that I've like fully ingrained and incorporated those new habits in my life, and I want the accountability.
And I think a year is a good start. I think I really
Mhm.
appreciate that. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. So any last things you would like to, and I hate the word last. Don't you?
Right.
Any other things you would like to add to for maybe someone who is on the fence or even someone who's not on the fence, just anyone who's just, oh, by the way, do you have anything else to add to, like anything you left out that you haven't said?
Well, I think if, as the parent of an LGBTQ child, I feel like a lot of times when you enter that LGBTQ space, that any reservations you have, any concerns you have, anything like you worried about the world accepting your child, about what might happen to their body, about what kind of partner, anything you worry about is somehow twisted to be like you're anti-trans, you're anti-LGBTQ, like that. But I feel like the thing I liked about you is that you didn't make me feel bad or anti or anything. You like kind of accepted my fears and helped me see it without being judgmental. Because I feel like with other people, there's been some judgmentalness, like just kind of, what do you mean you don't? What do you mean you're worried about your child? So I appreciate that you heard my concerns and like you said too, it was hard. It was hard for you to come to too. So you knew you could, yeah.
It's still hard. I mean, I still, every now and again, I'm like, I miss my boy,
Right. Yeah. It's weird. It's hard, but it's like the fact that it's weird and hard, I'm like not anti at all. I'm so supportive, but it just, I have my own stuff to deal with about it. So.
That's right. But yeah, thank you so much for even, I didn't even, you know how they say you can't see the frame when you're in the picture. I live my truth and I tell my truth every day. And I love that I struggle. I love that I ask God, why did you give me a gay child? Why? And he's Black and in America. Why?
Right. But I mean, everyone has troubles with their kids, even the most perfect kid. Exteriorly, you don't know what's going on, what happens at home, what they struggle with, all sorts of things. So everyone has different problems with their kids. Just some are more obvious or visible than others. So
we talked about today the basketball with mine, and it just is. And so, do you think maybe because you had to do most of the work? I think most people don't realize that with coaching, and I like that you brought up accountability, because if you could have done it yourself, you would have done it already.
Right.
And I did the work. And I think most people don't. And I like that you said you were going to kind of turn yourself to me, but you did all the work.
Yeah, but I tried to respect the what you asked of me and to do my homework and to be engaged in the process. And it's not like I was just sitting back and having you be like, okay, Karen, these are the 10 things you have to do this week to be a happy person. I mean, you did, but like, it wasn't like I had to do them. No one could do it for me. And if I didn't do my homework, if I didn't do my goals, if I didn't do my pre-meeting email, I was only hurting myself. Like, what was I paying for? So
that part. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? This has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for everything. And I mean, every time I tell someone I have this life coach, she's so wonderful. Oh my gosh. They're like, really? You? I'm like, yes. And I'm a changed person.
and I don't know if this is going to be TMI, but I like that you said you hear my voice. I hear Dr. Lulu, like what would Dr. Lulu say kind of thing. I think that's kind of freaky, but that's true,
Yeah, like I think
I'm like, wait, look at it. How is that thought helping you like right now?
Right. I totally hear you in my head all the time. And I hear you when I talk to other people too. Rather than I'll say like, oh, well, why, what outcome did you expect from that conversation?
Oh my goodness, Karen. First of all, let me just say on my own part, how the old Karen would have never done this interview, straight up. I'm just going to come out and say it.
Probably not, no.
When I met that day, would have not done this interview. So that's also a testament to how much you've grown. And I told you that this morning, all the wins. It's like, oh my goodness, like 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Amazing. Not even 12 weeks yet. Amazing.
No.
So yeah, I wanted to say that to you so you know that you've also come a long way. And I told you about a client today who I'm like, she's not doing her work. And I'm not doing just give me your money.com. No, I'm going to say, ma'am, the next time, if you don't at least do your homework, what are we
right.
doing?
Yeah.
I guess you call that no nonsense. I appreciate that. All right, Karen. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much for doing it, for being who you are. and for taking the leap and leaning in, because that's my favorite phrase. And just,
Yes. Yes.
letting
Well, thank you for all your sage wisdom and for holding and not letting me weasel out of things. I appreciate it.
I need to hear that because every now and again, when I let someone go who tells me either that they can't afford it or they don't have the time, and I let them go, I always have to, I say, was I really truly in service for them?
Mhm.
Let you go when I know you picked up the phone to call me and or you came to the call, you knew you needed it. And so I don't let everybody go, but for those I let go, I said, did I do everything I could to get them to see that
Right.
you need this kind of guy?
Yeah.
So I'm glad I didn't let you go that day because you have just been an amazing friend, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I definitely count you as a friend. And it's wonderful. So I appreciate it.
All right. Well, I'll see you next Thursday now.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Bye.